Hello, good morning, everyone. This is Mukti Sharma. Firstly, wishing you all a very happy Diwali. May this Diwali will bring lots of happiness and growth for you all. Welcome to our activity, A Circle of Growth, Session 4. Whenever we look at a successful person, the very first thing that comes to our mind is, wow, that person is very lucky. I wish I could be in that person's place. Without knowing the hardship and challenges of that individual, we always give credit to the luck of that person. It's not like that I do not believe in destiny. I do believe in destiny. But according to me, luck can take you to the door of the success. But your tendency of taking on challenges, your capacity of changing adversities into successes, and your consistent efforts and plenty more things can open that door of success for you. To discuss more about the success and failure and their relationship, we have a very special guest today with us, Mr. Ronald Cruz, commonly known as Ron. I have immense respect for him, not only because of his high influential designation, but also because he is very generous and very pure human being. During my struggling days, I have received ample inspiration, motivation, and encouragement from him, due to which I can consider myself today as a successful individual. He has been impacting lives positively, and I'm very privileged, honored, and pleased to say that today he is with us to address those people, those who even don't know him. But still, since he believes in spreading out the motivation to the world, that's why he is here with us. Please continue, please welcome him. Let's continue and talk to him. Hello, Ron. Good morning,
Hi.
and thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for accepting my invite. It's truly a privilege to hear you one more time.
Thank you so much for your invitation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have and participate in this interview.
Thank you so much, Ron. Let's continue. The very first question we have is, you born and raised up in Philippines, and you studied and worked in both the countries, in United States and in Philippines, and you have marked a very incredible success under your name. So, how hard were your challenges, and how hard it was for you to overpower those challenges?
Oh, it was very hard. So when I first immigrated here in the United States, it was a big culture shock for me because the students that I taught were very different from the students that I had in the Philippines. I wasn't ready for all of the challenges that America has to offer, and they require a lot of patience, require a lot of work, and they require a lot of guidance. And I understand the culture difference is, I understand that there's going to be some cultural differences. However, I did not expect the immense difference of the culture in the Philippines, of the culture of education in the Philippines and the culture of education here in the United States. It was very hard because I was having difficulty trying controlling my students, managing the class. I had several nights that I was like thinking, did I make the right decision to come here into the US? Um, my English wasn't super great at that time. I had to. My students are having a difficult time understanding me because of my accent, and that communication barrier was a huge challenge until I got used to how they speak, and I was able to adjust my language to so that I can be understandable to my students. And it was very tough. I was always calling the Philippines and my friends and my family, telling them, hey, it's really tough here. You have to work hard. You have to prove yourself. Lots of sleepless nights. And they told me that don't give up, stick to your decision. You know, it's going to get better. It's always hard at the beginning. So the challenge for me is just making that adjustment. You know, Philippines was very laid back. Philippines, the students are very well behaved in the Philippines.
Mhm.
In here, I wouldn't say they're not as well behaved. They're just harder to manage overall. Um, I had a class of 35 students. It's such a huge class. And I had to teach for 7 periods of the day. And it was very hard because it wasn't like that in the Philippines. So I learned to adjust myself. I figured I had to take care of myself first. And because if I'm not in good health, if I'm not in good um, emotional and physical condition, that I will not be able to do my work and my job. And I think that's going to spell disaster. And I'm going to be going back to the Philippines, going back home, and I say I'm not successful here in the U.S. I'm so sorry. I've been invested so much time, money, and effort
Energy.
just to come home and be disappointed. But I kept striving hard. I worked on it every day. I try to get better little by little. You know, I try to understand my students. I try to really work with them and say, if you have to say something, you have to speak slowly to me because I'm not used to the English language. Um, and then they understood me. I started building a bond and relationship with my students. They were shocked too because I was the first Asian in the town. You know, they're not used to Asians seeing them in person. They only see me on TV, you know, people like me on TV. They call me Bruce Lee sometimes, and because that's the only person they know of Asian descent. And they always ask me, do I know kung fu? And it was very funny. You know, it was a culture shock to them as it was to me, and that disconnect and that shock created a lot of issues between me and my students. But we worked through it, and it was fine. I started learning more, studying more, getting better as a teacher, learning about the American culture, improving my English, and really becoming a master of the content that I have to teach, so I can really help those kids. So that's pretty much what I have for that question.